Hello everyone, welcome back to what I like to call the most glorious time of year for collectors and movie fans alike. It is the July portion of the 50% off Barnes & Noble Criterion sale that happens every July and every November. It typically starts in late June, so it is currently late June, but we still call it July. It's just easier to say, more traditional. But I am once again here at my local Barnes & Noble that still has movies, and I'm going to do what I usually do, go inside, take a look at the shelves, and pick up a bunch of stuff, because there's been a bunch of releases between November and now that have all made my wish list, and it's all stuff that I'm super excited to get. Hopefully they have them in stock, so let's go inside and take a look. So I am now out of my local Barnes & Noble. As you saw, the shelves were looking pretty stacked. I was pleasantly surprised. I know I say this every time, but this time in particular, there were 4 shelves lengthwise, full of Criterion Blu-rays and 4Ks, which I don't think it's been that much in a very long time. I know I read an article a while ago that said that Barnes & Noble was going to be more active when it comes to physical media, movies and music and records and stuff like that. So obviously it shows. There were a couple of things that it did not have in stock, some things that were pretty high on my wish list that I was not able to get, specifically the 4K of Lone Star. I really wanted that film. All they had was 2 copies on Blu-ray. I wanted to get To Die For, the Gus Van Sant film. All they had were 2 copies on Blu-ray, so I figured I would just wait to get the 4K. If worst comes to worst, if they don't ever get any more in stock throughout the rest of the sale, I can get it from Amazon or I could buy it online, stuff like that. But I did pick up 8 things. So let's dive into this because this could be a little while here. So first crop here are things that I definitely were high priority. So first up is Bound by the Wachowskis. This is the 4K UHD release. As you can see, I'm battling the glare. The cover for, as you can tell, the cover art's a little messed up, but nothing I can't fix when it comes to opening this up and kind of moving it up a little bit. It's not damaged down here on the corners. That's what I'm usually worried about when they stick out like that, but it looks fine. So next up here is a little similar situation. Actually, no, not really. This is actually a pretty decent copy, and that is Peeping Tom, the Michael Powell film. This is, man, I've never owned this movie. I've talked about this movie so many times on the podcast. I've talked about it in our old version of the podcast, Cinema Discovery Project. We did a whole episode on just this movie, just going, you know, plot for plot, beat for beat on this movie. One of just an astonishing work by Michael Powell. It ruined his career, but it's so integral to his legacy as a filmmaker. So check this out if you haven't already. I can't wait to rewatch it. Next up here is a classic film that I've wanted to get for so many years, and that is The Roaring Twenties. This was stuck on DVD, I think by Warner Brothers. Yeah, Warner Brothers for the longest time. And it finally not only got a Blu-ray, but got a 4K release from Criterion. That was very nice. So I'm so glad to get this in the collection. That's directed by Raoul Walsh, for anyone interested. Next up is a film that is such a hidden gem. It's a movie that I immediately just fell in love with the first time I saw it, and that is Nancy Savoca's Dogfight. I talked about this extensively when it was announced on the podcast, and I'm probably going to talk about it a heck of a lot more. This movie stars River Phoenix and Lily Taylor. Nancy Savoca is just a filmmaker discovery for me over the last year or two. Just a fantastic filmmaker. A lot of her work is finally getting put out in the physical media form, specifically Blu-ray. But Dogfight is a great movie. And then for the next crop here, I have Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. This was an astonishing film when it came out in 2022. I believe it was a Netflix film, so Netflix is getting into the physical media game a little bit. Sometimes their movies come out from Criterion or someplace else, sometimes they don't. So we shall wait and see when it comes to their other films, but this is an incredible stop-motion animation film, some of the most stunning stop-motion animation you've ever seen, and the story is very intriguing, very contemporary, very interesting. Highly recommend this movie. Watch it any way you can. And next is a film from last year, which was actually one of my favorite films from 2023, and that is Anatomy of a Fall. Wonderful film, incredible screenplay, amazing acting by the main actress who is pictured here on the front. This is just a wonderful, incredible film. One of the best foreign language films, one of the best films of last year. Highly recommend it. Check it out if you can. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be giving this a rewatch very soon. The next up here is a film that I'm finally glad to say got a Blu-ray release, and that is Karyn Kusama's Girl Fight. This is a film from the year 2000 starring Michelle Rodriguez, where she wants to become a boxer, but of course her family doesn't want her to do that, and other people in her life don't want her to do that because of misogynistic reasons, but also cultural reasons and things like that. So it's her going through this character journey of trying to, you know, be her own person and do her own thing despite all of the odds against her. Really good film, really good underrated film. And then lastly here is a film called All That Money Can Buy. This is a really interesting tale of, or adaptation rather, of the Devil and Daniel Webster play, or the story. Really good film, really well acted, beautiful lush cinematography in here, incredible special effects work for 1941. Sorry, I'm trying to eliminate the glare, but it's literally impossible. So yeah, very underrated, a movie I had never seen up until it was announced. I know this play and this story's been adapted so many times over the years, so this is just one of many, but I think this is very, very good. So that is everything from my first trip to the Barnes & Noble Criterion sale for July of 2024. Technically late June, but you understand what I'm saying. So a successful trip. I love what I saw inside when it comes to the stock of the store. There's a few more things that are going to be coming out this month that I definitely want to get my hands on in terms of new releases. Definitely Risky Business is coming out. That's something I definitely want to buy when it comes out, so I'll probably be back for that. Hopefully my store gets it in stock. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for coming along with me once again on this trip to Barnes & Noble during the Criterion sale. If you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, please subscribe to the podcast as well as here on YouTube, where I go live every 2 weeks or so currently to do a new recording of the podcast, so you can check that out if you want to.